introduce Dr. Crystal Miller, who is a senior lecturer in the Department of Management, Leadership and Marketing from the University of Ulster. And she is our speaker for next week, but today she's kindly offered to host and participate in the question and answer session, which takes a lot of pressure off me. So Guramila Mahaga does that. Thank you very much, Crystal. And I'll hand it over to you, Guramagat.
Thanks very much. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to everybody next week. Three really exciting sectors there, and it's brilliant to see how even within each sector it might seem niche, but then whenever you look deeper, there's so many overlaps and it touches on so many wide range of various different industries. I suppose there's a couple of questions in the chat that I'll go to just in a moment. One of the things that came out, and hopefully the audience will find beneficial, is there's people here who are very early stage in their innovation journey. Some might feel daunted at some of the big companies that just have mentioned and networks, and it might seem overwhelming. However, Sharon, you pointed out I think a really good point in that all that is because if someone doesn't have all the expertise that they need for their idea, that's that's where the networks and the collaborations come in, and that you don't have to have it all figured out, and that if you have a good idea, then reach out. And I was just wanted to ask all of you if you could tell me what do you find or the main challenges or support needs that companies often come to you with initially, just so that the audience can see that no question is too small in regards to what help and support that they might need. Do you want to start off, Katrina? Yeah, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm happy to start off. So in terms of typical company challenges from working in the bioeconomy, because it's a new value chain that you're developing, it's often looking for those customers. And so customer discovery, that market research, and it helps the market validation piece. And that's often something that comes along with, bioeconomy companies. In terms of earlier stage, I would say it's technology. Sometimes the technology can be expensive. So, and finding, where we might be able to help is finding those partners to be able to help you with that technology piece. And I think that's often a challenge that companies have as well, because that helps, when you find a partner in that regard, you maybe can help de-risk yourself in terms of the cost, but also in terms of the infrastructure as well.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. And what about Katrina Murphy in the FinTech? What do you find as being the main support needs?
Yeah, it really, really is broad answer there, and each individual party comes with its own personality, I'll call it, like it is very, very unique. And I think that's why, because we have such a rich support system there, I suppose I'm going to answer this question with a reflection back to the more that individual can share, the better. And I think what's happening in engagement is that they're coming in the door and they're trying to be all things to everybody almost, and they're pitching in a way that they really want you to want their idea, but they need to strip that back to what does it take to grow that idea, and show the warts and all is what I would say to each and every person that's started whatever sector they're in, because the supports are there to challenge those questions, challenge you along the way, use every pitch as an opportunity to take one more sentence out of your pitch and change it again the next time, but in the scale up, yes, there is, like, we have a really rich tech talent in across Ireland, but we've developed some networks now across cluster to cluster activities to support with some of the maybe the gaps in opportunities there, and that's across Europe, and that's worked really well for some of our companies. And some of our companies are here based in the region, their headquarters is here, but their working environment and their employees are scattered across the globe, so I would urge anybody that if you do have a tech challenge, the Gateway is a brilliant network to address it, and many of those that have gone through the TSSG Gateway have actually hired the individuals at the other end of it. And that's what that service is about, you know, and they constantly churn out that great effort. So, yeah, that's, I hope that somewhat answers, but I would urge everyone to share, open, trust, you know, share to gain is the biggest thing here. And a collaborative network, yeah.
I think that's key, as you say, sharing all the worries, concerns, but strengths as well. And Sharon, you mentioned matchmaking and helping, you know, seek it out. Have you had instances where people have came with really great ideas but didn't know where to start, and then you just help them nurture that?
All the time. And just to say, Crystal, I totally agree. There's no such thing as a question that's too small. Reach out, ask questions. I mean, the one thing, I actually came from industry myself. And when I started working for Maith, I didn't really know what we did. I didn't really know what a technology gateway was. And the more time I spend here, I've been here over 3 years now, the more I realize how big the network is in terms of support for companies, but also, unfortunately, how many companies don't realize what supports are there. So please, you know, the one thing I will say is reach out, ask the question, and if the person doesn't know, they'll know who can answer that question for you. So don't ever be afraid to reach out. But absolutely, Crystal, I mean, one of the things we do, we recently ran one this week, was an innovation voucher clinic. And the whole point of that clinic is that people can come in and go, I have this idea, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go next. And one thing I love about those clinics is, firstly, you get to see a taster of the level of innovation there is out there, and the ideas, the amazing ideas that people have. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, or maybe not 9 times out of 10, we can help them, but sometimes we can't. And that's the one key advantage of the Technology Gateway Network, is that if I can't help you, if my team can't help you, there is somebody out in the network that can. So please reach out to us. We're here to support you in any way we can.
Great.
5 minutes left, folks.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time. We have 2 questions in the question and answer, so I'll go to them. And even if you can just give like a quick, I suppose, answer as such each. So firstly to you, Katrina Parr, about what trends do you foresee in the marine bioeconomy?
Gosh, I need an hour. Don't worry, I'll be very quick. So I actually worked for a fisheries software company a couple of years ago, and one of the things that we were, as a trend, we were capitalizing on was digitization. So we were trying to support fishery managers, fishermen, also processors, with digital technologies to support traceability, for example, of that type of product going through the value chain. And what does that unlock? That unlocks a lot of opportunities, you know, for, you know, where you might be able to spot where there's waste, you know, that could be utilized elsewhere. You might be able to find, you know, value add opportunity, and also to bring it back to the producers. So I would say that's, you know, to bring the value back to the producers. So I would say digitalization is a huge one, and there's a lot of support out there, you know, to be able to support with that, whether the IMAR gateway, the other gateways that Sharon mentioned, they're great on that type of thing. Another trend that we're seeing is the utilization of seaweed, and how that becomes processed and biorefined into products that could be, you know, like bioactives for cosmetics, but also for fertilizer and for feed and things like that. So that's really exciting. Another thing that's come across my desk recently is the actual, you know, sometimes there's seafood waste within the processing facilities, and that can be used for different types of things. Could it be used for fertilizer? There's a company called Biomarine Ingredients who's kind of working on that, and also working on the discarded catch around that too. And they're up in Monaghan. So there's lots of interesting stuff happening in the marine economy. And I know I don't have a lot of time, but another one that I just wanted to highlight, because I know there's working on in Ireland as well, is the extraction of chitosan from shellfish. So that hard shell, and that chitosan then can be used for like different types of devices, medical devices. Maybe Sharon knows more about that than I do, but there's lots of interesting things around biotechnology that could be utilized, you know, by companies and add value add.
Brilliant. And I know I'm going to run out of time, and there's quite a few sort of sub questions for you, Katrina. I'm just going to pick one of them, and you can maybe answer the rest. I'm
intrigued to know which one you're picking, because I took a good read of it.
And, did you? I'm going to pick because we don't have much time. So do you feel that the fintech is led by financial institutions, or can it start with IT people?
Yeah. Great question, and I hope I've answered some of the other questions in the other part. But look, there's one thing that whether it's EY or KPMG or all the guys that are out there with huge resources that are looking at the data behind this, and the big question and they're capturing and trying to, I suppose, inspire is, how can we use this once in a lifetime opportunity of the forced digitization of COVID and multiple other effects to create the future we desire? And therefore, it has to be led by consumers, it has to be led by big banks, and it does have to come from both sides. There is an equal partnership in all of this. But it's consumers at the end of the day that are going to be the bigger drivers. And we're seeing that every day. There's a new model or a new method to do your day-to-day life differently. So but a lot is, it's a really exciting space at the moment. So and if there's anybody here who wants to chat with me more, please do contact us.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll hand it back to you, Sinead.
Thank you very much to all our fabulous speakers, and the sharing of knowledge. It's people say knowledge is power, and I firmly believe it's not power until you share it and allows people to exploit it. So gur míle mahagi. We will provide the presentations, and this has been recorded, so we really appreciate the information shared. I thank Kirsten, Katrina and Sharon for all their time and their expertise. I look forward to hearing Kirsten's full presentation next week, and she'll be focusing on concept development considerations for your concept, and I think this is going to be very, very valuable to us all. Gur míle mahagi ar fad sve Pártach an Seáine in Coincheap den eile cluisimid were tuaidimí agus be deis córa an event. So I'm looking forward to next week, where we'll be able to hear your voices and speak and create some synergies together. So be deir seachtain na mahagaí, good weekend, good Friday agus happy Friday. Enjoy. Slán go fóill.